Hi, you have tuned in to the Raging Aggron channel, and I'm your host, Djingis. So this video, and the other videos that will come up on the same team, will be draft recap videos for the PSL and PWL. And as of right now, I will just do one team per episode, so it will be pretty easy to look through them all. And I will go through them in league order, not draft order. So the league order will be the Sun Conference in this example. So I will start in the Sun Conference and go through the Mele division. Then I will go through the Akala division in the Sun Conference, and so on and so on. So first team out is the, let's see here, the Scilley Seakings. And as you can see, these are just the first 6 Pokemon that I drafted. And when you see the nickname Crystal, that is a Crystal Juicer, the Sea Crystal Juicer. So that Pokemon is the only one that can give the Sea Crystal on their team, and they cannot drop or trade that Pokemon away. So when I look at this, I mean, overall, first pick, Mew, that's really good. I mean, Mew will always go in the first 3 rounds if you have a free draft. We have a very organized, very strict draft because it was the first time we drafted, so it was the first time that most of us drafted. Most of us have never played in a league before. Some have just played a half league, so we're all pretty new to the draft format. Therefore, Mew, a fantastic pick. I mean, we all know what it does. I mean, you run Stealth Rock, you run Knockoff, you run Roost, and you run Defog. Not Defense Curl, Defog. With Lefties. This is the most common spread, and then you just add this as how we feel it will work the best on that matchup. That is a pretty standard Mew set. As it is a Sea Crystal though, I'm pretty sure he will use it in a more offensive role. But at the same time, Sea Knockoff hurts pretty bad. That's a really strong move. But I can see him use it in a more defensive way, either way, because Mew is most of all a defensive pivot. You can change the Stealth Rock or the Roost for U-turn and so on. So yeah, I see it as a defensive pivot. And as we look through this team, I'm pretty sure that you will see the same way, because if you go back here, you see it has a good amount of bulk, but not enough bulk to let Mew be that offensive presence that it needs to be to be a Sea Crystal user. I'd be really glad to see the Scilley Seakings prove me wrong there. But yeah, I don't think Sea Crystal on Mew was the best. Even if it's a very versatile Pokemon. Next up, we have the Mega Absol. That was his Mega. With Magic Bounce, he is pretty much, if you can predict the hazard setup, he has pretty much just destroyed the opportunity for their opponent to step rocks and toxic spikes, webs, and so forth on his team. And that is really good to have. I don't know how much you will use it in that way, because it's very frail. So if you just predict it, it is dead completely. As you know, it has base 150 attack, and it still gets us to Sword Stance. That's just broken. For the first part, that's just broken. It's pretty fast with 115, but the Scarf will outspeed it, so you pretty much have to run it. I don't know if it gets agility, I don't think, no it doesn't. So yeah, you pretty much have to run it max speed with the Jolly Nature all week, every single week. You can run it specially attacking, but then you lose out on an enormous amount of power. I'm not sure if it gets Nasty Plot. No, it doesn't. Does it get Charge Beam? It does get Charge Beam. So you can run a Funky set with Sword Stance Charge Beam, and then have one physical attack, probably Knockoff, and then have some of the other moves here. So it gets like Shadow Ball. That's not Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave. Even if Thunder Wave doesn't get affected by Charge Beam up. So yeah, you see, it doesn't have a lot of special attacking moves. I mean, the Future Sight of the Charge Beam can hurt pretty much every team. Incinerate might be pretty good if it has something on it, but nah. Yeah, doesn't have the best special move pool, so you might not want to run Charge Beam and get it up that way with its special attack, but it's still an opportunity. Then you just have a versatile slot back, so you can have a good use of that. Well, mostly you can see this as a sweeper most of the time, and that's what it should be in my opinion. But it would be fun to see how I would use it. So here we have a Suicune, the first Pokemon in any of these videos that someone sniped. Suicune was a first tier pickup. I needed Suicune pretty bad for my team. Because I don't have a bulky water as of right now, I think. So yeah, that was pretty huge. I'm happy though with the team I got, but I mean, Suicune would have been the ultimate pick for my team. And we all know that what Suicune does. It gets lefties, and then you just run a Crowcoon set, Rest, Sleep Talk, Scold, Calm Mind. Then you just have that and it won't break through. I mean, nothing can kill it unless it's a crit. It's extremely bulky. You can do a lot of things here as well. You don't have to run this set, but this is the preferred set for me. So, and if you just look here, I mean, it has two pretty bulky Pokemons, and then you have the Megapsol that is pretty weak. And as you see, I mean, I don't need to say anything more on Suicune. It's a water type, it's bulky, it has pressure. Crowcoon, it's one of the best sets ever competitive. So, yeah, that's that. But then we have another pretty weak. It's not weak in the sense of weak, but it's not that bulky. It doesn't have that huge attack stat that you want it to have. It's just fast, and you need to use it on the special side more than anything. I mean, you have to run specs most of the time, and Infiltrator, Telepathy doesn't really matter here, but Infiltrator and Frisk are two pretty good abilities for competitive and for draft league. As you can see, most of its movesets here that you see that are recommended moves are special moves. So you are going to like to run like an Air Slash Boom Burst variant with Draco Meteor. Or if you don't want a negative stat in a special attack, you just go Dragon Pulse. Then you have Heat Wave or Hidden Power for something else, Hurricane, Hyper Voice. I mean, this has a tremendous amount of opportunity to just destroy your opponent's team. It's a huge special threat, and it has the same presence on this team as Megapsol does. I mean, if it doesn't bring these four to every team, I don't know what he's doing. But that is the first four, and it was the second tier pick. I think it was pretty deep in the draft, so a lot of the tier 2 was gone. But this is still a pretty good pick in a tier 2, in my opinion at least. It has a lot of viability, a lot of utility. You can use it pretty well in almost all matches. Dragon Flying, sure it's weak to ice, but at the same time it hits pretty hard with the specs. So the next Pokemon is, I mean, we've all seen how great Envy used this Pokemon. So for Scilley, just go to Envy's videos and look up how he used it, and look at the spreads. You can see if those worked for him as well. It's just so bulky. I mean, you can run Poison Touch or Gluttony, and then you just run a Fiji, or whatever barrier will work, so you will get half your health back. And then you just see a Crunch, that is pretty good to have. Brick Break in case of, I mean, if you really need it. Frustration, Gunk Shot, Knockoff, Poison Jab, Pursuit, Rock Slide, Return, Shadow Sneak, Stone Edge, and it's pretty slow as well. I know that we have seen this team is pretty fast as of right now, with base 100, base 115, base 85 and base 123. And then we have a base 50, but most of the time we'll run a negative speed nature. And it's a Poison Dark type. It's one of the best typings, I think, because you only have one weakness. Because Poison resists fighting and Dark are immune to Psychic. poison resist fairy as well. So it's just ground that you have to worry about. And that is pretty good because he has one flying type. He has a Suicune, he has a Mew. They don't care about earthquakes. So it is pretty good synergy there for me. It is also one of the best switch-ins for Moonblast in my opinion. It has a tremendous amount of special bulk. It has a Fidgy Berry, it has Poison Jab. I mean, it will work house on most of the opponent's team if they are allowing it. So yeah, that's Mac for you. Let me go to Arbok. Except for the Intimidate, I have no clue at all why he drafted Arbok. I know it gets coils. Shedshin. I don't know if it has any direct use of that at all. Its stats are pretty meh. Yeah, it's not the best. So I mean, pretty much. I mean, Acid Spray could be pretty useful for him if he faces Gudra, which I don't remember if he does. Coil is most likely the set it's going to bring, and Glare as well. Haze could be pretty useful, but it has a pretty wide move pool actually. Seed Bomb, Rock Slide, Return, Poison Jab, Ice Fang. Yeah, I mean I can see it, but this doesn't work. But it needs to have the right matchup, and it is too slow to really work. And you need to have the coil set up because on its own those stats aren't great. And you can't really set up a coil unless you're sacking this off. I mean, nah, I don't agree with this pick at all. I hope it drops it. But yeah, I mean, it's still an Intimidate user. They're pretty far between. So yeah, I have no clue what kind of set you can run with it except for coil set. So I hope he uses it to its max potential, even though I think it's pretty low potential for an Arbok. So that is his first 6 picks, and I'm pretty sure that the Arbok was a tier 4 pick. Yeah, it was. So here we are in the last 6 picks of his draft, and we have another tier 4 in Gastrodon. Extremely bulky. Though I mean, Stickhold is pretty good if you don't want to lose your item. Storm Drain if you raises a water type or a rain team. You have Sand Force if it faces if it faces sand team. So pretty good abilities. You really much have to run Leftovers, or you have to run the bear that I always forgot the name of. That half the damage from grass types. So this will most likely be a defensive pivot. It's just to eat up hits. We know how much Nappy used it, how well he used it. So this could work really well actually. So yeah, I must say that. Sorry. I must say that it is more bulky than you think it is. But what hinders it is the water ground typing, because Hidden Power Grass will do almost 50% from every special attacking Pokemon ever. So you must be very cautious about that. It works pretty well on his team because he doesn't really have that great of a switching before this to a Thunderbolt. But here he has Gastrodon, and you can see he has the Nidoqueen, and he has a Seeking with Lightning Rod. So yeah, and if you look at this, I mean, Pain Split is pretty good to have. Clear Smog is really good to have. Earthquake, Earth Power. Most of the time you'll see Earth Power. Blizzard, Ancient Power. Ice Beam, Hidden Power. Rest, Scald, Sleep Talk, Surf, Toxic, Sludge Wave. Yeah, I mean, it has pretty good. It's a pretty good set. It's a pretty good Pokemon overall. Yeah, it will be really fun to see how he uses it. And I'm pretty sure he drafted Gogot just to get rid of his grass weakness, because as you can see, Sap Zipper. because here he has Gastro. I'll go back. Gastro, he has. I mean, he doesn't really have that huge of grass weakness now that I think about it. Looked more, but just the Go-Goat Gastron is pretty good. Synergy. Because you have Sap Zipper and one that is 4 times weak to grass. That's really good. I don't really know what to do with this thing except just slap an AV or AV on it, or just go max defense. I mean, it gets. I'm pretty sure it gets Leech Seed. I'm just gonna look it up. Yeah, it does get Leech Seed, Horn Leech. So Giga Drain. So yeah, I mean, this is a pretty bulky Pokemon, but I've never seen it being used very well. I don't think it has that great of a move pool either. It has a lot of grass, as you can see here. Yeah, I just think you will use this as a defensive pivot or a defensive wall, maybe. It's another possibilities to bring the Mach or an Arbok without getting punished for it because it resists ground. I don't have anything else to say on the Go-Goat. Here we have the Nidoqueen. Now, this is an extreme threat for any team. Poison Ground with Sheer Force. That will hurt. And if you have Poison Point to run a defensive set, the Sheer Force will still hurt. And if you then have Life Orb, Sheer Force Life Orb is extremely powerful, and you can see almost any move from this move pool because it has a very versatile moveset. You will likely see it run especially more often than physical. And if you see it as a wall, you will most likely see maybe an AV with Sheer Force. You might see it as a completely defensive wall with no attacking moves other than Sludge Bomb or something. Yeah, Sludge Bomb. So this is a pretty dangerous pickup. I am very surprised that I managed to pick it up as a free pick. I was pretty sure it was going to go first, or in the first round for the tier it was in. I think we put it in tier 2. I'm not completely sure. So yeah, this is a pretty dangerous pick. It'll be really fun to see how he uses it. I think it works pretty well. It's another poison type, so I really recommend to drop Arbok because it has 2 very good poison types. So it doesn't need Arbok. Dredigon. This is one of the bulkiest Pokemon you will find, in my opinion. This rough skin Rocky Helmet. I mean, look at his stats. Doesn't look that great when you look at it, but since this is a dragon type, water, grass, fire, electric, and a ton of other offensive typings are resisted, you can run it with AV and just AV Rough Skin or AV Sheer Force just to get an attack off that will hurt. You can run Mold Breaker to get rid of the opposing Levitate or something. But Rough Skin Rocky Helmet is maybe the most common set on this thing. Then you just run whatever you feel like. I mean, this is a pretty intimidating Pokemon. I'm really glad I don't have to face it at all. I'm really glad for that. So yeah, this is pretty good Pokemon to pick up. I'm just gonna look back because yeah, it doesn't have a Fairy and it doesn't have a Steel type, but it has 2 Dragon types. It has one of the best Ice Resists in Suicune, so I don't see a problem there. So I mean, just look out for Dredigon. It's pretty bulky. You don't want to get destroyed by it just because you overlook that 120 base attack stat. So it can hit pretty hard as well. So let's move on to the almost last pick. We have 2 months left. Ditto. I mean, you will run in Poster, Transform, and Choice Scarf. Let's see here. So, and you will run like either a defensive set or a max speed, max HP set, or max speed, max attack, max speed, max special attack. Because this can literally be everything the opposing team. So you don't really have to run just Choice Scarf. but it's the best thing because then you can outspeed the opposing Pokemon. And you can, most of the time, that Pokemon will have a move that fucks up itself completely. So yeah, Ditto is a really scary Pokemon to face. I don't really see how we can use it on this team though, because I think he has a lot of... I mean, it would be to get a Fairy type or a Steel type. That could be pretty good to get up Stealth Rocks. To just sweep a team or something like that. I mean, yeah. And most of the time it will just be to scout out the sets. I really like the Ditto on this team, but we will see how he uses it. I don't really have much else to say because we all know what Ditto does. Then Seaking. I have no clue what Seaking does, because other than Swift Swim and Lightning Rod. I can see it run a Choice Band set based on that 92's attack. I can see it be pretty bulky, so maybe an IV set or AV set. But yeah, I have no clue why more than a mascot pick. It has, as I said, it has the Lightning Rod, but they already have 2 immunities and what, 3 resistances? 1, 2. Yeah, 2 resistances. So Seaking is pretty much just there to Lightning Rod to get another water type, maybe be an offensive water type, but it's so slow that I don't know if it will work. For the last pick in the draft, I think it's a pretty good pick actually, because it's kinda helping with a lot of his electric weakness that he has in the beginning, and it will help Suicune as well. So we might see a Seaking, what is it called? Seaking core? That's a long time since I heard that word before. Seaking core. I know it was pretty common back in like generation 3 or 4 or something, ages ago. But that was just because Seaking was a pretty good water type back then, and doesn't really had a lot of rivalry except for the... And there wasn't a lot of them that had Lightning Rod either back then. But it was a pretty good ability to have, and to pair it up with Suicune would just make it even better. So yeah, this is the first team you'll see. So the Scilley Seakings, Mew with a Crystal, Mega Absol, Suicune, Noivern, Alolan Muck, Arbok, Gastrodon, Go-Goat, Nidoqueen, Druddigon, Ditto, and Seaking. Thanks for watching this team or draft recap, and my name is Djingis, and I'll see you next time.